The first thing I ever noticed about Jordan was his optimism.
I feel like my favorite thing about her though overall, now that I've known her, is just like her ability to love everybody.
So, Jordan and I met serving our missions in Iowa.
We became really good friends, like there was nothing, mischievous going on.
And I always, before my mission, during, and even after, I was like, not marrying anyone from the mission, not dating anyone, that's weird, really against that. A little while after we got in touch,
Decided like I'm gonna call her and see what's up, and I had some tickets to a Keith Urban concert that I had been looking forward to for a long time, and I didn't know who to ask. I was like, man, I want to take somebody that will like really enjoy it, who will really have fun.
And I knew about this concert because he was talking about it on the mission all the time. So I was like, oh, you want me to come?
I was taking her home, and we got up to the stop sign.
I said, this is like a cheesy line out of a movie, which is unlike me, but I said, go right to my house or straight for the view. And then he was like, what idiot would go right? And he went straight.
I'm not taking her home, let's go to this view.
So I look back at him like, smart, smooth move, Hannah. And we were just dancing around like a bunch of idiots. Like, it's not even like it was necessarily romantic, we were just being goofy.
I remember at one point, I was just like looking at her, and like, it like switched from like, she's just my friend, to like, wow, she's really cute, like, man, she's great.
I remember we just like stopped and stared at each other for a minute, and I was like, oh dear, are we more than friends? Like, oh, that's gonna happen.
And I was like, man, I kind of want to kiss her.
So then I was like, okay, whatever, and then me just being how I am, I was like, better go.
Then we went back to her house. I don't remember what we were talking about, but then all of a sudden we were just like staring at each other, and I just went for it. I just planted one right on her. And
then we ended up kissing. So there you go. I don't know, that's our first date.
Built on an emerald lake. Oh, how the rain showed its face that day.
And I just looked at her and I was like, man, like, I'm probably really gonna miss you after I leave. Like this weekend was so fun, and like I knew you were cool, but I really like you. Like, I think you're great. And so we were driving in the car, and she was gonna take me home because I had to go back home to go to work, and I was up from Nevada all weekend, and we were kind of bummed out that we had to leave, and she was saying something, and it was really cute. And I remember just like, without even thinking about it, just laughing, being like, I love you, like you're the best.
And he said that, and I was just kind of laughing, but I was like, oh gosh, is that like, I love you? Like in my head I was like freaking out, but I was just nonchalant about it, and I just laughed, I'm like, yeah.
And then I thought about it when I said it, I was like, whoa, like that just kind of came out. And maybe it sounded lighthearted, but like, I really love you.
It's like, yeah, I really love you too. And no, it was just sweet because I remember, even though like it was sad that he was leaving, there was like more of a sweetness to it. It was more like solidified than it had before. It was like, okay, see you next time. Like, it was like, wait, I love your heart, I love who you are. And that's really just like what it had been from the very beginning anyway. From like the mission, we really just cared about each other as human beings and as people, and respected each other. And so it was just like a deeper love, I think, when we finally said it. And I remember he just gave me a big hug, and he just said, I love you, and then he left. And I said to him, and I just was like, Jordan, I'm all in. And he was like, wait, really? You're not just saying that because it's late and you're tired? And I was like, no, I mean it, I'm all in. He's like, I'm all in too. And then we were just like smiling, I could just hear him smiling. And then he was like, does this mean you're my girlfriend? And I was like, I guess. I'm like so weird about it for some reason.
But I remember as soon as she told me like she was in, it just felt really good. We had been talking for quite a few months.
About something, we were like fake ring shopping because we were just thought it would be funny to troll people. It was dumb. Anyway, so we went, and afterwards we were like talking about it, and then I was like, oh, but if you proposed to me right now, like I would tell you we need to take a break forever, because
I was like, whew, all right, well, hold off those plans.
We eventually talked about it, and decided that we would start thinking about it and like if that's what we wanted to do and the path we wanted to take. Anyway, we went home to his family's house one weekend. Pretty sure he was going to propose that weekend because we had talked about a lot of stuff, and like his mom texted him one time when I was on the phone with I was talking to his grandparents on his phone, and his mom texted him a picture of the ring. And he didn't tell me anything about the ring. Like, he picked it out on his own. It was a huge surprise. And this picture came up, and I was like, here, Jordan, sorry.
I had all these huge plans. I was gonna take my uncle's razor out. We were gonna go up on top of this huge mountain because I know she loves mountains, and we're gonna have so much fun. And I was gonna have all these things ready for us up there, and I was gonna propose like at sunset. It was supposed to be just perfect, you know, like a movie and everything. And we had lots of family stuff happen, and it just didn't work out. But I knew she wanted to go to the temple while we were in Las Vegas, so decided that I'd do it right before we went in the temple.
So we get out, and we were walking around the temple, and it was drizzling, and there's this spot behind the temple that's really quiet, just like a fountain and palm trees, and it was perfect. And we were just standing there, and
I was totally fine up until right before, and all of a sudden I just got so nervous. It's like, holy cow, she's so pretty, like, I don't want to mess this up. And I had a dozen roses in my backpack. She thought I had my clothes in there. And I just was like, oh man, I look around, like, I hope I didn't forget my pants. And
I thought he had his temple clothes in his backpack, so fooled me there. But all of a sudden he like pulled out a dozen roses out of his backpack, and I was like, oh, thanks. And he was like, I was actually pretending to look at Angel Moroni because I knew I was like distracting myself so he could like situate himself. He was so nervous. It was so cute. He was so nervous. So I like turned my back and I was like, oh, like look at Moroni. And then I turned around and
I just went for it. I proposed and
on one knee, and he just said, Hannah, I love you so much. I don't want to live another day without you.
marry you and be completely happy for the rest of my life. Like, you're great, like, and I feel great about it.
He forgot to ask if I would marry him, and he got off his knee. But I was just so excited. I didn't even look at the ring. Like, I just was looking at his face, like, he's so cute. And so I put my arms around him, and he picked me up, and then he's like, will you marry me?
He totally said yes, and it was just a really happy day. And I remember just sitting in the temple and just feeling so content, so peaceful. And I think that was probably my favorite part about that day, was just soaking it all in, just realizing that I was going to be with her, and that's exactly what I wanted.